me nervous.
No, no. I mean, there's windows around this whole entire corner of the building, so it's, I mean, it's a beautiful spot, but we're not seeing any funnel clouds right now. The wind is definitely picking up, though, significantly.
How intense was the storm? As we look at it live, it would seem that Fitchburg is about to be in the clear, and I hesitate to say about to be in the clear, but how rapid was it and intense was it as it went through?
Well, I've been sitting here for about an hour or so, and I just picked up on it on my laptop, and it just really kind of developed just within the past 45 minutes or so that's been this strong. So.
And you haven't seen it diminish in intensity, it sounds like.
No, no. I mean, it was just cloudy, and then it just, started pouring. So, but the wind is picked up right now.
Well, Catherine, we do hope you stay safe. Thank you.
Thanks.
For filling us in, Catherine Clark in Fitchburg. And Harvey or JC, you have a wonderful feature on one of your mechanisms, one of your computer screens that can kind of give us a hint time-wise as to where things are going to be and what direction they're heading.
Yes.
Can you add that to what we're looking at here?
All right.
Harvey, can you add that?
Yeah,
so
I'm sorry.
This is live TV, folks, and I'm asking them to do.
It's largely been following the Route 2 corridor so far to this point, but definitely moving in a southeasterly direction.
Now, this is the view that you see from the HD Doppler net, which, as Harvey showed you a few minutes ago, has that defined rotation arrow, which we don't add to it. The computer adds to it when it registers it. So this is, and then that's what I was talking about. Thank you very much. So if you live in Harvard, if you live in Boxborough, if you live in Stowe, if you live in Maynard, if you live in Sudbury, that's the path that it's in. It'll take a half hour or so to get to Sudbury, but within the next half hour, it'll go through Harvard, Boxborough, Stowe, and Maynard. You can see the time frames there.
This tornado warning has been issued until 8:30, extended really until 8:30, and what that tells you is that the intensity of these storms is not diminished enough to take away that, but also that the threat will continue for the next 35 minutes or so and could be extended beyond that. Whether or not it holds together to get closer to Boston is something only time will tell.
Well, and JC, Harvey, and maybe you can help me break this down. JC mentioned a few minutes ago, as you see the intense magenta colors, and again, as Harvey mentioned, perhaps it's not registering your TV as magenta, but as the storm moves through, those colors seem to reduce. The magenta seems to disappear, but that doesn't mean this is not still a dangerous storm.
Absolutely. First of all, these storms sometimes can pulsate. What I mean by that is you may think you're getting a little bit of a weakening, then it spins back up again. So we're still seeing a lot of, oranges, reds, purples in there. And not only that, but we still see right in here what could be that hook, hook echo that we call. And that's because you get possibly that circulation, that twisting motion. And that's what radar continues to show some rotation with that as it moves off to the south and to the east. Did get a report, just an email, that hail did pass through Fitchburg, but this particular part of Fitchburg anyway, that was only about large pea-sized hail, which is not insignificant, but when we're talking about a tornado warning, if you get away with that, you're getting away pretty lucky. We have put the storm tracker back on with this cell, as you can see, as it moves off to the east-southeast. Now you can see Maynard's going to be affected by this strong thunderstorm minimally, and still a chance of a tornado. But you can see now it's just basically a couple of moments away from Harvard, then a little longer for Boxborough, and then we have Stowe, and then Maynard and Sudbury in about a half hour as it continues to track off to the south and to the east, kind of intersecting 495 now, at least a part of it, although the strongest part of it is probably back in here in terms of wind. But again, we have a lot of lightning with this. We have hail, the possibility of damaging winds, and with rotation at the base of the clouds, it's always possible that the rotation can work its way down to the ground, and then you would have a tornado on the ground. This is the cell we continue to follow as it moves to the southeast. I also want to mention that about the actual tornado warning itself, that's till 8:30. Remember, that's until 8:30 tonight, the tornado warning. So that's the story. We also have the tornado warnings I mentioned until 8:30, which is including, of course, Leominster naturally being impacted by the storm right now. I think JC has a little more information, and we'll continue to give you the latest. JC?
You know what, Harvey, I just wanted to respond to an email that we just got in. Somebody asking if they should take the time to open up the windows in their house to equal out the pressure. That is an old wives' tale. Do not spend the time opening up the windows thinking that somehow it's going to reduce damage at your home. That just wastes time. It puts you in the path of danger because now you're getting close to the windows, and you don't want to be anywhere near the windows if a tornado or any severe storms are coming your way. So again, forget the windows, get inside. You want to go to the lowest level of the building if you can. Stay out of your car. You know somebody traveling in a car right now. Hopefully they have a cell phone. Pick it up, give them a call, tell them to get off the road and find a safe place to take shelter until these storms pass. And again, we have at least another half hour of dealing with these strong storms. You can see them over my shoulder. Let's go to radar so people can see where they are. Right now, it's just about on top of Harvard. In just a matter of about 10 minutes, it will be in Boxborough, 8 minutes to be exact. Stowe, you're 14 minutes away, 21 minutes to Maynard, and just about a half hour away from Sudbury. And this storm, as Harvey was mentioning, looks like it has a pulsating effect to it. So while the magentas have been reducing, we'll be seeing if those pulse back up, because that hook is still there. We're still seeing a nice sort of hook echo shape to this radar. Something I say nice, of course we don't want to see it. This is our 3D radar. Now the higher you see the height of these red colors, that is the height of the storms. The higher the storm, the more dangerous and powerful they can be. Those white flashing lights indicating live indication of lightning coming down. You can see how frequent the lightning is. We're also getting those hail signatures, and that is not only over the storm that we're concerned about the tornado, but also to our north. Folks in New Hampshire are dealing with severe thunderstorms just around Nashua and to the north of Nashua, and these two are headed to the east-southeast. So we're again focusing on the storm that is over the Fitchburg, now heading towards Maynard. Just off to the west, there are more looking like possibly severe storms over Orange, but the one that we're focusing on is this one here that is right now over Harvard. It did move through Fitchburg. We have reports that there was some small-size hail with that as well. And now it is moving towards Boxborough. It's about 5 minutes away from Boxborough. Stowe, it's under 15 minutes, under 20 minutes to Maynard, and now under a half hour's time to Sudbury. If the kids have been outside playing, perhaps you're barbecuing in your backyard in Sudbury. Even if you're in Wayland, look at Concord, about a half hour away. Start taking everything in. Let's get into the interior of the building. Crank up the TV so you can hear the warnings as we give them to you. But again, a tornado warning is up for central Worcester County until 8:30 p.m. And I just want to reiterate to the person who wrote in asking if they should be opening up the windows to equalize pressure in their home. That is an old wives' tale. There was a time when we thought that that was a good thing to do. We have since learned with more education and more information that that's a waste of time and it puts people in harm's way. So we certainly don't want to be wasting our time doing any of that. Guys?
I thought Fitchburg was in the clear from that one storm. You can clearly see that another one is developing just off to the north and west a little bit. And the tornado warning is still in effect until 8:30. Folks there should still be concerned.
Well, absolutely. The rear flank of these storms can spawn their own severe thunderstorms on the backside, the downdrafts on the backside of these storms. So sure, there's still some severe weather around there. Again, we're focusing on the one that possibly has rotation, and that's the one that right now is headed towards Boxborough. But if you look up to the northwest or on the tail end of this storm, it is spawning its own downpours. So at this point, we don't have severe signatures with that, but that doesn't mean you're not getting crazy downpours, and possibly hail will be coming with those as well. But again, we're focusing our attention on the storm that has a tornado warning associated with it. We don't have any reports of actually spawning that funnel cloud. What we have is what we call radar signatures. We're seeing within the radar rotation. We're getting wind reports that possibly we're seeing some rotation within that storm. But there are the hail signatures. Again, that's over the one that's over Boxborough, headed towards Maynard. Sudbury, it's in your area in 25 minutes. Concord, that's Concord, Mass. It's less than a half hour away. But even up towards Concord, New Hampshire, they have their own severe thunderstorms that they're dealing with. And I think Harv has some new information he wants to share with everybody.
Yes, I do, JC. Thanks so much. This is as of the moment. Tornado warning is remaining in effect until 8:30. At 8 o'clock or 8:01, that is now. Definitely the radar continues to indicate the rotation, which means a possible tornado with this storm as it continues to move to the east-southeast. It's right near Lancaster and near Leominster as well. It's moving off to the southeast in the general direction of Maynard, as you can see, at 20 miles per hour. So Clinton also could be affected by this storm as well. It's also capable of producing quarter-size hail and destructive straight-line winds, which means even where there is no tornado occurring, meaning this entire area where you have torrential rain, some hail, possibly the very damaging winds, the torrential rains, and the vivid and continuous lightning with this cell. And here you can see Harvard, and you see Leominster obviously has been impacted by this. It's moved through the heart of Leominster. It's now moving off to the east-southeast. Leominster's near the back part of it now, the end of the storm, so to speak. But obviously it went right on through Leominster. And now it's impacting, of course, Harvard to some extent, as you can see as it moves off to the south and to the east. Now, the interesting thing about this storm is its life. Certainly, perhaps, we hope not as a tornado.